All right. The Illini Basketball Podcast, episode number 122, following a victory, an unsurprising victory, given the fact that, come on, you're playing, you're playing whoever the hell they just played. Jesus,
Kansas City, UMKC.
My God, well, that's the problem I have with that. I was told that they dropped the UM, and then the Big Ten score thing said Kansas City. Other people are saying UMKC. It's Kansas City, folks. Okay,
yeah.
We don't need to know that it's in Missouri. Everybody knows that. If you're not an idiot, if you think it's in Kansas, you're a moron. But anyway, an easy win. I mean, maybe the slowest start in school history, but they figured.
Yeah, it was a brutal start. Steve, what's up? Thanks for coming by. How about that dancing bear? Speaking of the dancing bear, I guess we'll just go straight into player of the game, and then we'll talk about how bad Illinois started off. Player of the game, Dane Danger.
Yep.
I think this one was pretty easy. You said in the last episode that we wouldn't pick the same guys.
Can't do that in this game.
I think that was a little hard this game. 23 minutes, 9 for 11 from the field. Free throws, 2 for 5, so still struggling there. The team, as a team, though, they were better. 18 for 26 for nice 69%. 20 points, 15 rebounds, 5 offensive, 12 in the first half. 12 rebounds in the first half, which is crazy because Hunter Dickinson had 1 in the first half against Eastern Michigan. So, anyways, 5 blocks.
You can't get that many rebounds when Eastern Michigan's making every shot. I mean,
oh, okay. Is that how it works? Gotcha.
I mean, he did. Dickinson did end up with 31 points. If we're being honest,
He did 7 rebounds, and he was 6 inches taller than the.
That's like Kofi last year. Kofi, we didn't see Kofi rebound.
Yeah, but speaking of Kofi, Dane Danger is only the second player since 2010 to go 20 and 15. Kofi did it twice. 20 and 15 is impressive. I don't care if you're playing Kansas City or whoever. 20 and 15, if only 2 guys have done it since 2010 at Illinois, still a pretty good number.
So he's better than Kofi?
No.
Might be.
Maybe. I don't know. I guess we don't know yet, do we? We'll see how he plays against other bigs, real bigs. But I'm on the danger train, danger zone, whatever you want to call it. He likes dunking and throwing his balls in people's faces. Don't know how he didn't get teed up for that. RJ Melendez has to be just freaking out. He's shooting 85% from the field in the last 2 games, averaging 18.5 points, 12.5 rebounds, and 3.5 blocks. Pretty good numbers, regardless of who you're playing. Underwood said about him, quote, "The thing I'm impressed with is his tenacity on the glass." He said, "I thought Dane was outstanding. He's played so hard. He's keeping the game so simple. It's amazing how that translates to success." He also said that Dane is really scared. He talked about him being the dancing bear. I guess that's going to be his new nickname. He said, we have to help Dane by simplifying the game. When he gets in trouble, he tries to overhandle and spin more. So I can see that.
Spin into a sick mid-range shot that he drills.
Yeah. That's like Trevion Williams-esque, right? That step back, whatever it is. I'm not mad about it. Now, if he goes and he starts missing like 2 or 3 of them, I'm going to say slow it down, Dane. But right now, I'm enjoying it. So Dane said in the post-game presser that, quote, "Me and Kofi had some tough battles in practice, but I work hard. I've worked hard. I've been working hard all my life, and it's starting to pay off." He said that he feels like he still could get in better shape. So I think he's sitting at 265 right now. But for 265, the guy runs like he is out and running, which I know Kofi did in spurts, but I feel like Dane, he is always just active. So, he also said, Dane said, quote, "This is just the start for me. It's about the next game. I'm on to the next." So Dane Danger, folks, the new Kofi Coburn.
Sure.
As a freshman, he is better than Kofi. He's a sophomore, I think. Right?
But to be fair, he's played 3 games before this, and it was very low.
But then he played 2 years. Like he was 2 years at He was in his second season at Baylor. So
was he? I don't know about that. He was in his second season at Baylor. He would have been on the national championship team, and also there's no way.
okay. Well, then the Big Ten Network doesn't know what they're talking about.
Maybe he was on that team, but do you really think he played? I mean, he had
I don't think he played. He only played 3 games. I understand that, but
yeah, yes. I mean, he's he's one of those guys that
he's one of those guys that just doesn't look as raw as Kofi, right? I mean, he has a skill set before he came to Illinois, where Kofi really, I mean, he was just big. So, I don't know. I'm fine with it right now. So.
He played 1 year at Baylor last year, and he played 9 minutes.
Yeah.
So he's pretty much a freshman. Yeah. He's pretty much a freshman.
I guess so, but he's had he's had a year to work with Kofi. Yeah. Kofi didn't have a year to work with somebody.
Yeah, and also, I would say this. Let's think about this here for a sec. I don't know what I was going to say. Jesus, God, I'm losing it. He's missed 3 shots in 2 games, and I know he's facing these guys that are, undersized bigs, which I think he kind of is for the Big Ten. 6'9", but I think he makes up for it with if he actually uses his footwork and jumps off of the floor. Yeah, and he's got a pretty big body.
He's got a huge wingspan too, which makes up for the 2 inches or whatever, 3 inches. And just offensively, he just looks like he knows what he's doing rather than Kofi. He did have a play that reminded me of Kofi where. I believe it was Terrence Shannon Jr. drove around and tried to pass it to him, and he bumbled it to the other team. So, he
was honoring Kofi.
Kofi, yes. Yeah, Kofi in the stand. So he just wanted to show him, not everybody has great hands. So,
yep.
On to the game. The first 8 minutes, absolutely horrendous. They had 1 basket, a whopping 1 for 18. 0 for 11 from 3, shooting 5.5% from the field to start this game out. They ended the game surprisingly at 46.9% from the field. So, Dane Danger, thank you, I guess.
Jaden Epps.
Yep. They ended up making like their next 6 of 7. I think Matthew Meyer actually started that run. So, Meyer, did some things. He wasn't great, but he did some things. He only played 13 minutes, 2 of 5 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3. So he did get 1 to fall. And I think it was none but net. So,
yep. And then he got that steal and actually used his left hand in a layup.
He did.
Not something you see every day with kids these days.
Nice steal and a tough finish. So
with the left hand.
Yep. Let's see. 2 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block, 1 turnover. Illinois only had 11 turnovers as a team, so much better than the game before. Brad was asked in the postgame why Meyer only played 13 minutes, if it was something to do with conditioning or if he's hurt or whatever. And Brad simply said he needs to guard. So
I feel like there's not like
don't you think you throw him in the last 10 minutes to try to get him to guard better though?
Yeah, but I also think there hasn't really been a matchup for him that isn't like
he's
a
guard,
small little guard.
Like for a versatile can guard anybody defense, he cannot guard guards. I mean, he needs to be guarding small forwards and such.
The problem with that is that Terrence Shannon can do that. RJ can do that. So they have guys that can guard those types.
Yeah, and so I guess they need to work on that, like the switching, but I know that's how they want to play. And Matthew Meyer wants to be Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. He's going to have to learn how to guard those guys.
Well, it worked better at Baylor when he did it there, so it's not like he hasn't done this before. I don't really know what. I mean, it probably worked better at Baylor because they just were all better defenders around him.
Yeah.
Not to say that Illinois doesn't have good defenders around him, but like Davion Mitchell, Jared Butler.
They weren't on Baylor's level, at least not yet.
No. But also those guys are smaller and they were guarding the guards. I mean, RJ's 6'7", Shannon's 6'6". So other than Sky, they don't really have a real small guard out there. So
not you're gonna
Yeah, with the switching, you're going to end up having Meyer guarding these 6'3" guards in certain spots, and it's been ugly.
Yeah, it has not been pretty.
But you see something there, like the steal, the instincts. You see that he has those things.
Yeah,
you just got to figure out.
He knows how to get into passing lanes and to disrupt that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He's just not good in the one-on-one defense half court when he gets stuck on a 6'3" quick guard. He can't do it. Brad also said Matt's going to be fine. Matt's really talented, guys. He's finding his way. So I think that's just.
Is he talking to a preschool class? I mean,
that's just how Brad talks about everybody. So I'm okay. Sky Clark. I think Sky Clark had a chance to be player of the game here. I think this was Sky's. I mean, we got a small sample size, but he was definitely a lot better this game than he was in the first game. 5 turnovers first game, 0 turnovers this game. 24 minutes, 2 of 3 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3, 5 for 5 from the free throw line. So he's getting to the line, which is something we talked about, penetrating, guards penetrating. I feel like Illinois did that a lot better this game. It seemed like Illinois was penetrating much better. They were kicking it out. They just couldn't make it. Brad talked about them forcing shots. He said that he doesn't like the threes with 20 seconds on the shot clock, the contested threes. So as much as he talks about getting a shot up in 7 seconds, from what I understood from his post-game press conference, is that that's only when Illinois gets a steal and on a fast break. So
their average possession length,
it's 2 seconds better than last year,
is 14 right now, which is 14th in the country.
Yeah. So,
but also some of these teams don't even have a stat for it. So they're really like 8th or 9th in the country. Yeah. But if you look at last season, they were at not even close to that for possession length. But I'll also say this, I would bet of those 18 shots that they had when they went 1 for 18, I'd bet 15 of those were open. Like they're taking open looks because they're facing teams that are terrible.
Right. And Underwood said he doesn't want guys to pass up open looks, but he doesn't want them to force them with 20 seconds on the shot clock. So I guess there's a little give and take in what Brad is really saying when he says, let's get one up in 7 seconds.
Well, Brad, he's a bit of a politician sometimes, and there's nothing wrong with that.
I think coaches have to be, right? Yeah.
But you just got to throw it out there. And I'll say this about Sky Clark. I feel like he's a lot calmer with the ball than most freshmen are as point guards. And that's not to say he won't have 8 turnovers against UCLA, because that could very well happen. But, yeah, he definitely looked like he settled in a bit more, little bit, the game kind of slowed down for him a little bit in this game.
Yeah, he does play very under control.
And that's what you want.
That was a big question mark, right? Like, we're going to have these guards, mainly these freshmen mainly handling the ball. So like I said, Sky had 0 turnovers. Epps played 24 minutes, 0 turnovers. So the two main guards that are coming in played really well this game as freshmen. Sky's other numbers, 5 rebounds, which is really nice to see out of guard, 2 assists, 2 steals. And let's see, the freshman, I saw this from one of the 247 guys. The freshman had 23 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists between Sky Clark and Epps. So, and 0 turnovers. So really good to see from those freshmen. Coleman Hawkins can't shoot, Brad.
My dog's barking.
Uh-oh.
Good luck.
Coleman Hawkins, 27 minutes, 3 for 7. He was 0 for 3 from 3, 6 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 1 turnover. He missed his first 3 threes, and then he stopped shooting. So I'm not overly mad about it. Brad said that he challenged him at halftime, and he kind of came back. He did some things in the paint, and you saw later on in the game, if you were watching it, that Brad there might have been like 7 minutes left. Game's over, and Coleman Hawkins is sitting on the bench, and Brad is just chewing him out. So I don't know what he's doing, but he was on him. So after Brad makes the comment about Coleman Hawkins being able to shoot. Coleman did not shoot the ball well from range, but nobody did. They were 0 for 11 to start. So, and I think those were when Coleman shot his three. Melendez made a three. He was wide open in the corner, made a nice bucket. He had 21 minutes, 2 of 7, 1 of 3 from 3, 3 for 3 for free throws, 8 points. I just went to RJ Melendez, but do you have anything to say on Coleman Hawkins before we?
Coleman Hawkins.
He can't shoot, guys.
I feel like we expected this to possibly happen. I mean,
I think Coleman's going to have these games.
I think he's somewhere in between the 0 for 3 and the 5 for 8. I think he's more like a 4 for 3 or 4 for 10.
Yeah. I hope he doesn't take 10 threes in a game.
Nope, I wouldn't hope so either. But 30-40% rather than 0% would be about right.
Yeah. In the post game about Melendez, Underwood was asked about his body language, and the guy said that he could tell that he had better body language. And Brad talked about that and how he said he was pressing, and Brad said that RJ Melendez has gone 3 or 4 practices in a row where he doesn't miss a shot. I don't know if I believe that completely, but he said that he needs to be able to carry himself in a positive light when he's not making shots. That's going to make him a better player. So Terrence Shannon Jr., I don't know why I just skipped over him. So let me find his stats here.
He gets to the rim quickly. He had, of course, 14 points. He
had Illinois' first basket. Their first, when they were 1 of 18, the only basket they made was a Terrence Jr. drive and dunk. So
yep, he gets to the basket quick. 4 for 12 from the field, not great. 1 for 5 from 3, missed some open looks. 5 for 7 from the line, though, pretty good. He gets involved in the game. 5 assists, I think that's a good number. Most assists on the team.
Do you think this rebounds? Team, and we talked about it early, maybe before the season started, but not worrying about Goody, but man, this team can't shoot threes. And I think that's going to be a problem down the road. The fact that they only took 7 in the second half is a good sign, though. They don't have, they need to realize they don't have to shoot threes. They can shoot threes. They don't have to. But yeah, Terrence Shannon Jr., he's just that guy that it seems like he's everywhere. He had another nice recovery where he was all the way at the other end of the court and he came down and disrupted a shot, which he did in the last game too. So it's crazy how quick he gets up and down the court. Jaden Epps, podium game for him. Really good, really good, solid. What you want to see out of a freshman. 24 minutes, 4 of 9, 2 of 5 from 3. He did hit back-to-back threes while Illinois was kind of struggling. 3 of 4 from the line, 13 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal. They said that he was plus 35 in his 24 minutes.
I wonder what Sincere was against Eastern.
I don't know.
I'm going to find that.
Yeah, right, go ahead. Brad said that, quote, I thought Jaden Epps came in and did a tremendous job of changing our energy. Epps talked about him coming in, playing defense, and that's kind of how he gets the game going. Epps said, quote, when we play defense and play together, we are a great team. And he said that he wants to be more vocal on the court. So he wants to be more of a leader as a guard. And he wants to play tough defense. Like he really is buying into the fact that defense is going to win Illinois games, and that's how they're going to get rolling. So Underwood said that he is going to now have Epps as the best guard on the other team for the scout team. And I guess they did that before this game. And he said that he thinks that it gave Epps a lot more confidence coming into this game. So Ty Rogers, he wasn't great, but he does the little things. He plays hard. He had one play where he dove out of bounds, saved a ball, and got rewarded coming back in and threw one down. 21 minutes, 2 for 4, 4 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. I'd like to see more rebounds out of him. Illinois didn't rebound extremely well in this game. They only won the rebounding battle by 3, 43-40. So, and that's with Dane Danger having 15. So they really need to work on rebounding more and the intensity on the glass. Sincere, not what he was the first game. He committed
missed a dunk.
Yeah, committed 3 turnovers, missed a dunk. One of these days he's going to posterize a guy, and Orange Crush might rush the court because you celebrate everything, is what I hear.
Plus 21. He was plus 21 in the first game.
Was he? Okay. Sincere 2 for 5, 2 of 4 from 3, so he knocked down a couple threes. 0 for 2 from the line, and they were ugly. Like, one almost didn't hit the rim.
I think him and Ty Rogers should have a competition at the free throw line.
Does Illinois have the most guys with unorthodox shots in Division I basketball?
Just like normal shots?
Yeah, just like their normal jumpers.
Yeah.
They're all just
Jaden Epps is like going like this.
Yeah.
Shoot, and he like moves his body forward. Yeah, and then Coleman Hawkins does the real quick release there, and it's something, certainly.
Yeah.
It's probably why they can't shoot, to be honest.
So 6 points, 1 rebound for Sincere. I see Sincere as, a 12 to 15 minute guy, come in to give the team a spark. So you take the good with the bad with Sincere. I think you love his energy. You hope he doesn't commit too many turnovers, and you hope that he throws one down on somebody's head to get your team going. And eventually he'll do that. Eventually he's going to throw it down on somebody's head.
Him and Dane Danger were the only players for Illinois with multiple turnovers. So they had 6 of the 11.
Yeah. That's it. Illinois played a very clean game, except for, some bad shooting at the beginning. To score 86 points after having 7 through 8 minutes, pretty good.
Yep.
I predicted that they'd score 96. So thanks a lot for screwing up the first 8 minutes for me. They did win by 38. I figured I had 40. So, go ahead and just keep putting your house on whatever I tell you guys. All right.
I'm sure they'll do that.
Let's see. I thought this team's defense was really good. 24 turnovers forced. Like I said before, the dribble drive seemed more prevalent in this game. So I like that. 27 threes taken, like we talked about, not 30. Please keep it under 30 every game.
This game could be the one.
They were 8 for 27, 30%. So that's good. It was a good game. He said that, quote, Brad afterwards said, quote, they never cracked the seal of their defense until Jaden entered, and that changed. So apparently Jaden Epps was the big part of why the defense got better. He said, like we talked about, rebounding effort was not up to standard. And other than that, the team from last year was honored. They had the banner raising. They talked about maybe how that played into it somewhat, why they came out to a slow start. Brad said that their shoot around had no energy. And then, maybe you get cold or whatever. Did you watch the banner raising?
I watched like the end of it.
Okay. I didn't get to see it.
The audio was horrible.
Okay. I guess they had a really nice video for Trent Frazier. Yep. And I think that it's really cool that they did that. And I think it's cool that Brad, kind of knows what's going on, where he doesn't know if Trent will ever get his jersey hung in the rafters. So this was
he shouldn't, just for the record.
Wow. Okay.
Well, why should he? I mean, come on, please. He's not an All-American. He's just a really good player for the program.
Really going to make some people mad with that.
Every program has those types of players.
That's true.
Io and Kofi were All-Americans. It's just different.
That's true. I understand. So
anybody who doesn't understand is an idiot, by the way. And I don't even want to go into this, but
okay,
Jesus,
all right. Yeah, it was nice to see Trent and Plummer and Kofi and DeMonte all back. They're all playing overseas. They said Trent had to fly out the next day. He had a 13-hour flight the next day. Plummer played in Mexico City the night before. Kofi's getting ready to go to Japan. And DeMonte, I believe, is playing in Portugal.
Jesus.
I think he's in the Liga, too.
Nobody's playing anywhere.
Liga.
Everybody's playing everywhere. What am I saying? Liga. Yeah, they kind of, you know, the fact that they had DeMonte, I think he went out first or second of those four. Like, they're like, come on, DeMonte was here just as long as Trent. I know he wasn't as good of a player, but what the hell are we doing
and
here?
he decided to stay, too, along with
Trent. He played a
Trent,
ton of games at Illinois.
Yeah. Yep.
Maybe his jersey should go up, huh?
I don't think that. Did he set any records? Because I think Trent set records. Anyways, Brad Underwood said, quote, "I got into this 36 years ago for nights like tonight. Quote, that's what this shit is all about." And he told the guys
language.
He told the guys not to put that in print, but we're not media guys, so we can say it. But yeah, cool to have those guys back. I guess it was a full house. Bruce Weber was on the call. He apparently got a standing ovation for taking Bill Self's team to the championship. I don't know.
Jesus.
What? You can say stuff about Trent Frazier, but I can't talk about Bruce Weber.
The problem with that. Bruce Weber should get more appreciation right now than he did back then. Because
hang his dress shirt in the rafters.
Yeah. Because the guy who followed him was so bad. Like, so bad. And that's why I think that we should have a little bit more respect. And I don't know why all these people are going after Bruce on Twitter that I see. Not even for the announcing. It's, this, that. It's been like 11 years, guys, or 12 years. And also, like I said, the guy who followed him was a bum.
That's true.
Gross is a great guy. Great, terrific guy. Terrible, terrible coach at an actual basketball school. So that's a factor. And also, with regards to his announcing, the only criticism I have, I'm not going to make fun of his voice like some people I know, but the only criticism I have is he probably talks a little bit too much. But I think overall,
he's great.
He does a good job. I just feel like, there needs to be a little bit of dead air here and there, but that's all right.
Well, he wants to, talk about how they beat Arizona and how Augustine only played 8 minutes in that national title game. So
it's a good thing that Kansas City doesn't have any real fans because they probably would have been.
Can you tell Bruce to get over it because he was whining a little bit during the game.
Sure,
thank you.
But it's a good thing that Kansas City doesn't have any real fans because that was pretty much a full Illini broadcast in every single way.
That's true.
So I don't think Bruce is going to be able to do any Big Ten. Well, maybe, I guess, Purdue, Illinois he could do since he was an assistant at Purdue. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, good win. On to the next one. Yeah,
real big showdown here Monday night against Monmouth, who is 0-2. Tentative, we're supposed to do a watch party for this one, so probably see you out there 7:45 ish, probably
8
late
PM
later
games.
Ugh. This is like one of 40 of them this year, even though there's not 40 games, but same thing. They're 0-2. This game's on the Big Ten Network, so no Big Ten Plus yet. I don't know if there's a Big Ten Plus game in December, but
somebody told me that the game after Thanksgiving is on Big Ten Plus.
Let me fact check.
It's fine.
That is correct. Yeah, Lindenwood. Sweet. Black Friday, 8:00. You got to get Big Ten Plus. I mean, are we serious here? Jesus. You put it on Big Ten Plus and then you make it 8:00, even worse. But somehow they're playing Bethune-Cookman on FS1. That makes a ton of sense. Monmouth lost to Seton Hall by 27. They lost to Virginia by 47. They have 44 turnovers in 2 games. Virginia shot 58% from the 2-point range and 52% from 3. But hey, props to them. They're starting the season with 3 top 35 KenPom teams to start. Seton Hall is 34th. Virginia is number 6. Illinois is number 28. Last season was a little bit different for them. They weren't a terrible basketball team. They had a little bit more experience. They went 21-13 last season. They lost to, of course, St. Peter's in the MAAC tournament. They're in the Colonial now, though, so Monmouth has moved conferences. They lost 3 double-digit scores from last season. Their lineup is full of players with little to no history of scoring points in college basketball. They have 8 players with experience that have played any time and a combined 12 career points per game. So, yeah, this is a very, very inexperienced roster, and it makes sense that they lost by 47 to Virginia. They were 11th in the preseason
if
poll.
If Illinois wins by 48, we're better than Virginia, right? That's how that works.
Technically speaking, yeah, until Virginia beats Illinois in Vegas, I think would be the cutoff there. But yeah, they were 11th in the Colonial preseason poll, so this is not a good basketball team by any means. They're very undersized too. The projected lineup, this is their lineup from the last game. I usually give you some stats or some fun things about these players, but there's literally nothing on these guys. Miles Ruth.
Are we sure they even played college basketball before?
I don't know. Teron Allen at the 2, 6'5". Jack Collins is 6'5" as well. Then they have forwards Miles Foster.
Jack Collins?
Wow. Impressive, really. Miles Foster, pretty much the only player that's done anything for them this season. He's 6'7", 10 points against Virginia at 18 against Seton Hall. And then Clement Vuga, 6'7" at the 5. So they're very undersized. Maybe they'll start a bigger player with the team that they're facing, but they're very undersized. Like, I don't think they have anybody above 6'7" except for the 7'1" center Amon Sandu, who's on the bench. So this is this should be Dane Danger going for 40 and 30 in this game, for being honest.
Okay.
30 boards.
I like to hear.
And have we talked about the fact that Illinois out-rebounded Kansas City by 3?
Yeah, we did. You weren't listening. You're probably.
I don't think we gave the exact numbers.
Yeah, I said 43-40. You were probably checking your Twitter blue. Yeah,
that's fair.
Okay.
I don't remember hearing the numbers, but I did. I was kind of surprised at that. Anyway, that should not happen in this game. And I'm curious to see how many turnovers they have in this game.
If it does, Brad might lose it.
Yeah, he might pass out on the.
It's weird. I think it's weird, like during garbage minutes, that we have to keep guys out that played 20 minutes because we have nobody else on the bench. I just think that
is true.
Because we're playing 9 deep. We're clearly playing 9 deep. If Goody was here, I assume they would have played 10 deep. So,
Monmouth had 21 rebounds against Virginia, and 42 against Seton Hall. So. Seton Hall was
because Virginia didn't miss, it looks like. So
yeah, and Seton Hall shot 34% from 3, and also Seton Hall had 39 free throws in that game. So
wow,
Illinois got plenty of opportunity to score.
Maybe they'll just foul Illinois, knowing that they can't make any free throws.
That would be a good move. Yeah,
they'll play with 4 guys at the end of the game.
I can see it.
I'd like to see it.
I'm curious to see the spread on this game because last game was 24, 23.
24,
and then I think it went up to 25.5 before the game. Last time I saw it, but yeah, I feel like it should be like 30, but it probably won't be. Ken Palm, Illinois adjusted offense is 40th, Monmouth 305th. Adjusted defensive efficiency, Illinois 22nd, Monmouth 206th, and adjusted tempo, Illinois 61st, Monmouth 112th. So, I mean,
should be a butt kicking.
They should score 130 points, but they won't. This could be similar to St. Francis last season, 106-48. Could be similar if they make shots, which I'm not convinced they will. Players to watch from each team. Go ahead.
I'm going to go with Matthew Meyer. I want to see if he can play defense. I mean, this is a game where he should be able to play defense in, right? Does he play over 15 minutes? It's kind of, I mean, we talked about Ty Rodgers being a starter. Do we start the Dane Danger starter bandwagon now, or
I don't think Brad's going to do that.
We just let Matthew Meyer get a start so he stays committed to Illinois and go from there.
We all know Meyer's a 1-year guy.
I know he is. I'm just saying. I think it's weird. Whatever. Anyways,
I don't think
the other guy I went with was Miles Foster because he's the only person you put a stat for. So.
Yeah, I picked Miles Foster as well. I mean, that's just obvious. The only player that exists. I think he just plays 1-on-5 out there. Sky Clark is who I went with for the Illini. I think I want to see how he follows up the last game. I think he could have a big game in this one. Favorable matchups. He's going to be facing off against Miles Ruth, probably, who's smaller than him. So
over under 1.5 turnovers for Sky Clark.
I'll say he has 2, so I'll go over. But
okay.
I'm just trying to be safe here. It's kind of hard to say he's going to have 1 or less. I know he had none in the last game, but you never know. Yeah. A little fluke turnover here and there. Like, let's say Coleman Hawkins isn't looking.
Somebody doesn't catch the ball. Yeah. Crypto Shock 217 says Myers seems like he has some bad body language at times, hangs his head and doesn't get the ball when he wants. That first game, Brad was over there screaming in his face because he wouldn't cheer on his team because, he was sad that he wasn't playing well. He wasn't getting time. I don't know. So
I'm not one to be a body language police, though, so I'm going to stay away from that one.
Steve says, I would love to start Dane, but we can't have Coleman and Dane get in foul trouble. Where would we go? Brandon leave.
Yeah, I don't think they should start Dane Danger.
The thing is, like, Coleman Hawkins doesn't. I mean, he wasn't a natural 5 last year. I mean, if Kofi came back, would Kofi and Coleman Hawkins not start?
I think that's a different thing because
because then you have Dane Danger back.
There's no question of whether you're going to start an All-American or not. This is Dane Danger. He's had 2 good games, but you can still question whether he should be starting or not. And if he keeps playing like this, I think you have to start him. But you can't start him right now because they want to play a little bit smaller. They can do that against these teams. If you just keep this current lineup, I think the only switch you make is take Meyer out and put Rogers in.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind Meyer starting. It doesn't bother me anymore. But it's weird when you look at, the minutes and you got one starter at 27, one starter at 24, one starter at 21, and the other at 26. And then you got Matthew Meyer at 13 minutes.
He's hurt.
He's not hurt. Or Brad's just keeping it under wraps.
He's super hurt. I feel like some good teams do that, though, like some good teams have that starter that
Michigan. I don't mind. Like I said, I don't think it matters that much because Brad's not afraid to yank somebody quickly. So,
okay, here's one for you. Kentucky, one starter 31, one starter 28, 27, and then 21 and 19 for the other 2. And then they had 2 guys off the bench with 27. How about that? Thoughts?
It's not 13.
But it's 19, and it's for freshman.
Those guys are playing half the game.
It's true. Antonio Reeves went to Kentucky, huh? I didn't even know that.
I don't know. I thought he was a wide receiver. So
he had 22 points in the first game, 18 in the second game. Illinois State transfer. Former future Illini.
All right. Predictions. Illinois is going to break the 90 mark, I think, is what we're saying.
Yep.
I got Illinois 92. Monmouth is averaging 46 points a game, so I don't think they're going to get to the 50 mark against Illinois. But I will give them 49 because Brandon Leave's probably going to get dunked on by 7-1 on Sandu.
Fair. I'm going to go 94-53. I think they'll get a few garbage time points to break the 50. I don't know. I feel like it's going to be – when was the last time Illinois held back-to-back opponents under 50 points? And I know both teams are terrible, but, it's hard to do.
I don't even know how you've looked that up, but –
well, I'm going to look at last season. St. Francis, they gave up 48, and they gave up 63 to Arizona. So that's the last example I can think of. They got close. Jackson State, they gave up 47. Arkansas State, they gave up 53. They got close, but it's just, really hard to do,
Yeah.
So I don't think I'm going to be able to find another example. Remember when Chicago State scored 38 points against Illinois?
Yes.
That was a good time. Illinois scored 122.
They ruined the program, right?
They scored 122 in the season opener in Adam Miller's freshman year. Jesus, I forgot about that.
Adam Miller off to a solid start, I see. Good for him.
Had 26 against Arkansas State yesterday. Very efficient.
Jimsky put up 34, another 30-point game.
Yeah. Good job, Brad.
7 of 9 from 3.
Brad, you moron, letting Pajimski go. He's the next,
I don't know when he would have played. I mean, we're already every guy except for three on the bench.
I think what hurts the most is that he's 18 for 21 from the free throw line.
Yeah.
And he somehow has 20 rebounds in 2 games. Like, what the hell is that? 7 steals. Like, what kind of C level opponents are they playing? Just kidding. Both their opponents have been higher ranked than Illinois, so. And they're close games too. That's probably why he's playing so much and why he's getting so many shots up.
Yeah, they have been close games, but
so easy win.
All right. Well,
I thought about adding a Big Ten thing to this, but I don't really think there's anything notable to talk about in the Big Ten thus far.
Not yet. Michigan had a close one with Eastern Michigan, but
Michigan State is the only team that's lost.
Yeah,
they lost to Gonzaga in a game that they controlled and should have won. But
they should have won that.
Yeah.
Instead, we had to see Drew Timme act like he won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Drew Timme was getting locked up by Sissoko in the first half, which I don't know if I can mention Sissoko's name given that he tried to murder Io. But anyway.
That's true.
Yeah, Monty Bates played really well against Michigan, so there you go. I don't think Michigan's that good, I got to be honest. I think Dickinson's going to be saving them a lot this year. But I also think they're still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I think they still got a lot of things.
I mean, they were a team when Illinois beat them in January last season, they were 7-7.
Yeah.
And they still made the tournament and still got further than Illinois. So it's
and I think that they were just like Eastern Michigan with Amani Bates and stuff. They're run and gun, and I think Michigan was trying to play on that level where I don't think that's Michigan's game. So
yeah, and Michigan has a bit more trustworthy scoring this season, I think, in a lot of spots. Like Caleb Houston was so hit or miss last season, but yeah, I mean, there's really nothing notable to discuss other than that. I feel like you look around the conference, Indiana has just steamrolled both of their opponents as they should, given the fact that it was Morehead State and Bethune-Cookman. They got Xavier coming up though, so that'll be a challenge for them on Friday. A lot of days off too in between, so yeah. Nebraska 2-0 after facing 2 of the worst opponents in the country. Minnesota, same thing. I mean, Minnesota only beating St. Francis by 18. That feels low, given the fact that St. Francis is one of the 15 worst teams in America. Pretty bad.
Not good.
Yep. All right. Well, one more thing.
Yeah.
How impressive. I'm so impressed with Purdue's ability to score 63 points against Austin Peay. That's so impressive to score 63 points against a 258th ranked defensive efficiency team in the country. And oh man, Zach Edey. Oh God, Zach Edey, so impressive that he had 30 points against a 6'11" player who is a sophomore and is not good. That's so impressive.
Yeah, I turned that game on and they had like 56 points with like 2 minutes left, and I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, they're not even good.
I don't know. I mean, just give it to the 7'9" guy and get out of the way, I guess.
Yeah,
if he catches it.
Yeah, embarrassing is what I call that. Like the rest of their team, literally nobody had 5 points or more. Everybody had 5 points pretty much. So, all right, that'll do it for us. We'll see you Monday night, watch party tomorrow night, probably. And then we'll see you for episode 123 later in the week.
We're going